Broadcasting from the Business RadioX studio in Alpharetta, it's time for ProfitSense with Bill McDermott.
Good morning. Welcome to ProfitSense, the podcast for ambitious business leaders who refuse to settle for good enough. We're here to uncover the stories behind Atlanta's most successful businesses and the advisors who help them thrive. ProfitSense is where business owners come to learn what's working, what's next, and how to break through the barriers holding them back. I'm your host, Bill McDermott, and this show is presented by the Profitability Coach. For over 15 years, we've helped business owners transform their companies by delivering profitability they never thought possible. When business owners feel stuck or overwhelmed, we help them create a plan to drive the success they've always envisioned. We've got two great guests on the show today who will inspire, challenge, and equip us with insights to take your business to the next level. So let's dive in. Vickey Evans, CORG Management Group. Vickey, welcome to ProfitSense. So glad you're here.
Thank you, and good morning.
Everybody wants to know their story because everybody has a good story to tell, and I'm curious, what drove you to become an entrepreneur?
That's a good question. I will tell you that, just a little backstory about me.
Please.
I am the only girl of 10 with 10 brothers.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes. And
were the guys, when you were dating, were they afraid to come to the door because they had 10 guys to get through to get to you?
Hence the reason why I dated late. So, yes, they didn't knock on the door. So I'm number 10 of 11. During my upraising, when I was growing up, I was in the kitchen a lot, right? Today, I really do not like to cook. So I knew for me, I started off in corporate America, where I was a network engineer working for a large corporation here in Atlanta. Moved from Louisiana to Atlanta, actually.
I had a daughter that worked in Lake Charles for a little while in the southwestern corner.
Okay, familiar with that. I went to school at Northwestern. That's in Natchitoches, Louisiana.
Okay.
But I moved to Georgia, one, to get away from my brothers. And two, I was looking for a field. I was a network engineer, but I got married and had children here. And my husband was diagnosed with a chronic condition. So I was looking for a field that I could be in that allowed for more flexibility.
Sure. To
be home with my children, they were young, and to support my family. So for me, that started off in the real estate industry.
Okay.
So I left corporate America and became a real estate broker, which I'm still a real estate broker, and working in default services.
Okay.
And that's where my story began. And today, I am a facility maintenance and construction entrepreneur. My company has multiple contracts. We work in the state, federal, and local government, multiple states to include Puerto Rico.
Okay.
Didn't get away from that male-dominated area, though.
I'm sure you'll do just fine in that male-dominated area. Entrepreneurship. What are some of the biggest challenges you've faced when starting your business? And I think you're an overcomer, so I'm going to ask how you overcame those challenges too.
Sure. So for me, as an entrepreneur, I was one of those that used my own money. You guys have heard of mattress money, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I was one of those people, look, don't owe anybody anything. Use the money that's up on your mattress. And if you couldn't afford it with what you have, then you didn't need it. Whereas I started in my business, you needed supplies, equipment, furniture, even be able to pay your employees. I found myself lacking there. So for me, access to capital was one of the largest or main areas that I needed some assistance with.
Yeah, that's a big challenge.
It is a big challenge.
Starting a business.
It is. But I started small, worked with some local banks, and then moved up. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say Bruce referred me to you guys, but my accountant is who's referred me to you guys. So it has increased now. So I've got my books straight. I've secured larger lines of credit that allow me to have the working capital and the equipment and to be able to provide the services that we provide.
Yeah. By the way, let's give a shout out to Bruce Burkhelder. Robbins SQ just made partner in the firm. Bruce is a great guy.
He is. He's
Really
wonderful.
is.
He's helped me to really position my finances in a way that I can take it to a bank to secure additional funds, bonding, or whatever I need
Sure.
for my business.
We're talking today with Vickey Evans, CORG Management Group. Vickey is a seasoned entrepreneur with a clear and strategic vision for success, specializing in organizational structuring, strategic planning, and project management. She brings extensive expertise to every venture. Vickey, I want to switch the conversation now to balance. How do you maintain a balance between long-term vision and the day-to-day demands of running a business? In my world, we call that working in the business versus working on the business. Talk about that.
That's exactly it. And as you grow in your business, and we've been in business like 20 years now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Having offices in Georgia, North Carolina, and South Carolina. And I tell you, you can't be in every place at one time.
Sure.
So the day-to-day operations, I had to learn to delegate more, right? Bring on seasoned professionals to allow me to be in more places. And also they could do the day-to-day operations that I'm not able to do anymore because I'm out securing business. So
Sure.
working on the versus in the business.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm wondering, did mentorship play a role in doing that or networking? How have you recommended others build those relationships too?
So that's a very good question. For me, mentoring is, I secured a mentor early on. It didn't go so well. It's like a marriage.
Right.
And sometimes the courting, if marriages don't always work. So we'd like for them to, but they don't always work. It wasn't the greatest experience. However, I learned from that relationship. And today I am being mentored with a large, very large company, international company, better relationship. I knew the questions to ask going in, right? I am also mentoring a smaller business myself, and they said, pay it forward.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to do now.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So if possible, seek a mentor, but vet your mentor so that you'll know what you're getting into.
Now, were there any particular questions or particular things that you were looking for in a mentor that maybe when asked and answered, that conversation really resonated?
Many times when we have a mentor, they are normally a larger company than you are, right? But it's okay to ask to see their financials as well.
Sure.
It's okay to ask to say, have you had any legal issues? Because sometimes we don't ask these questions.
Right.
We're just so excited that this large company wants to work with us. You want to ask those questions. You want to be very transparent, if you will. Is there anything that I don't know? Also, you want to know if that company is working with any other company that could be your competitor. That could pose a problem for you.
Sure. In your opinion, what are some of the most common misconceptions people have about entrepreneurship?
I have found that in networking and meeting with folks that they feel like entrepreneurs, oh, you're the boss, so you get to go and come whenever you want to, right? We work all the time. But again, you have to find balance, but you put in it what you get out of it, what you put into it, setting defined times and preparing yourself for the day. That's what I try to do. But yeah, I would say that's what it is.
Yeah, I think having come from corporate America myself, I think when I became an entrepreneur, I didn't really realize that corporate safety net. I mean, there was a big bureaucracy of people that if I made a mistake, somehow I got caught. But when you're an entrepreneur, you're your own safety net. And so you rise and fall based on how you're doing without that bureaucracy. So it's exciting, but it's also frightening in the same breath.
It really is. And one thing that I typically tell others that are looking to start a business is you are no longer on the payroll. You are the payroll.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. We're talking today with Vickey Evans with CORG Management as the visionary founder and CEO. She has expertly expanded the company reach, positioning it as a leader in base operations support, construction management, and logistics support. Her strategic leadership has fueled impressive growth, both in the Southeast U.S. and on the global stage. Vickey, looking back, what is one piece of advice that you would give your younger self when you first started your business?
I would say, don't try to go after everything. Find that area, those areas. For me, it wound up being 2, 3 actually, but focus or try to be very focused on specific areas that you do well, that you have proven past performance. That way you can speak to it and you have a better success rate of finding opportunities and securing those opportunities. Because a lot of times entrepreneurs, they'll just start throwing darts at a board.
Yeah.
So, okay, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Be very focused on what you want to do.
Yeah, Jim Collins wrote a book that all of us have heard of. Some of us have read. It's called Good to Great by Jim Collins. And he talks about that our greatness really is where 3 circles intersect. What am I passionate about? Which you mentioned, play to your strengths. What am I best in the world at? Mm-hmm. And then how can you take those 2 things to create an economic engine because of it? And it sounds like that's been your story and your advice to your younger self.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Vickey, I have a lot of listeners out there that might be looking for someone with your expertise. What's the best way for them to get in touch with you? Do you have a website or email or phone that you can share with our audience?
I do. Our website, www.corg, that's CORG, the number 1.com, as well as our corporate office, which is 803-828-9573. And we also have a general mailbox, which is info@corg1.com.
Vickey, it's been an absolute delight having you on the show, sharing your entrepreneurial journey, and certainly wish you the best in 2025 and beyond.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me on your show today.
Now we're switching the conversation to Victor Salmeron with High Tech Utility Construction. Victor, welcome to ProfitSense. So glad that you joined us today.
Thank you.
Tell us about yourself and where you've come from.
First of all, thank you for the opportunity to have me here today. I'm delighted to be here to share my story. I believe every person has an important story to be told. I got the opportunity today to share mine to some people if they want to become entrepreneurs. My name is Victor Salmeron. I was born in a third world country, El Salvador. I had good parents. They had good values, but they had their limitations. My mother was a full-time, staying-home mother. My father was just a helper building houses in that country, making the minimum wages. And I was raised in a poor community where houses didn't even have electricity. And I still remember that little house with walls made out of clay. Also, that floor, we didn't even have a floor covering. It was just ground. It was just dirt. I remember my mother watering that floor so the dust could settle and making mud with her hands to smooth out the ground. But later on, I had a great opportunity. And I had a pass to travel to the United States. And in 2004, I was able to travel to this great nation. I knew it was the nation, the greatest country in the world, where you can have better opportunities. And I got here, and that was a very exciting day. I knew I was here with a purpose. And so that's something about me right there, Bill.
Yeah.
I remember still that when I was a little boy, just having a television and watch cartoons was a big dream because we didn't have electricity.
Yeah, and I know your story from your start even gets better here shortly, Victor. I know you faced obstacles on the way in your journey. Talk about those a little bit.
Yeah, so after I got here, I landed in the Atlanta airport. After a few months, Bill, my first giant obstacle was I couldn't go back to El Salvador. So I lost my immigration status, and that was a terrible thing for me. And another big obstacle I had was I was not able to find a job here, and I keep knocking on doors, and you can see me right now. I'm 5'4", so I just turned in 17 years old, and I look like I was 11 years old, so nobody wants to take the risk and give me a chance. My other obstacle was I was not able to communicate. I want to meet great people. I want to gather with champions, but I only speak Spanish at the time, and that was a big obstacle. How can I communicate?
Yeah. I had the same experience going over to Europe and trying to speak either Spanish, Italian, and French, and absolutely butchered it. So I can totally relate. It's frustrating.
Yes, you want something, you want to communicate, but you're not able to. And
Yeah.
I say, I'm here with a purpose. I have to grow. I have to succeed. But that was hard.
We're talking today with Victor Salmeron, who is the founder and president of High Tech Utility Construction. Victor's a leader. He believes in leading his company to greatness. He does not see his position as founder and president as just a position. He sees it as an opportunity to help people grow and discover new opportunities within themselves. He loves to see people succeed and having himself be a part of that. Victor, I want to talk about those challenges, but I know there's a story behind how you overcame those challenges that you encountered along the way. Language being one of those, but I know there were others too. So how did you overcome the challenges that you encountered?
Yes, first of all, discipline, right? So you want to do things, but you know that you don't have to do it because, you can get in trouble. So I have to be a good person so one day I can fix my immigration status. Second, I keep knocking on doors, looking for a job. And be consistent about it. I didn't give up, keep knocking on doors until I was able to find a job. Someone took that risk and give me a chance. That was a great opportunity for me to show that I was able to do it. And the other one about my language. I went several times to Gwinnett Technical College trying to enroll for English as a second language. And a lot of times it was already full. It's a lot of people there trying to get in. I went a few times. I didn't give up until I was able to find me on a spot. I was thirsty to learn English, and one time I didn't even realize it that I had a perfect attendance, and I didn't even know it. So that was something good. We were 4 students in that room, and I was the only. But about the business more. In 2009 is when I decided to start a little business, a small 5-man crew to start in the telecommunications industry. I sat down with a family member to talk about it and see if we can work together, and we did agree on that. So one big thing for me is faith. I believe in God. I believe in myself. I believe in people. That was one of the things that I did, and I know it works. When you work with people, you need people to work with you. There is no way you can grow without. The other thing I remember is I didn't have a lot of money. Okay, I just had $10,000. We needed a pickup truck. I bought a pickup truck, $7,500. I only had $2,500 for cash flow. So I got some pickup truck, a few shovels, and I didn't have the main equipment to start that business. But someone had that equipment that already tried this business. And he said, hey guys, it didn't work for me. You can take this equipment and pay me later. Hopefully it works for you. It sure did. So from that day, we started moving forward. I started inviting people to join my journey. And I know it's hard to find great people, but I was blessed to find the right people to join my journey.
And I think from that one truck and 5 people, today we're talking about roughly how many trucks and how many people?
We have a fleet of 63 new trucks.
Wow.
Yes.
And so I'm curious, what do you think has helped you become successful and why?
Commitment, faith, again, discipline, and consistency.
Yeah.
Those are one of the principles that I believe it helps me to get there. And like I say, I don't play the position as a boss. I like to be a leader, lead people. I like to invite people to our team, to my journey, and equip them, train them, empower them. I am seeking for those talents. And I love when, the people, it's believe first that they can work with me, and also I count on them. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. We're talking today with Victor Salmeron, who's the founder and president of High Tech Utility Construction. High Tech is a turnkey telecommunications company with a quality-driven and client-first attitude. Their main goal is to exceed clients' expectations. High Tech is proud to take projects other contractors are hesitant to take because they are too complicated. High Tech thrives by accepting jobs that uplift the community through teamwork, high values, and a positive company culture. So, Victor, in doing business with High Tech Utility Construction, I have learned that people buy differences. They don't buy similarities. So share with our audience, what do you think makes your company unique?
High Tech takes no shortcuts. We don't do things because they are the easiest things to do. We do the right things, even though it's the hard thing to do. That's a culture that we have in our company. Everybody knows this. Our leaders in the company, like I say, I have a great leadership that it's looking over, and everybody knows that we do the right things. We take no shortcuts. That's one. Second is we do complicated projects. We are proud to take the projects that other contractors don't want to do because they are too complicated. We take those projects, and we also, one of our principles is to exceed our clients' expectations.
Two clients that we work with come to mind. I have a grading contractor that thrives in doing jobs with tough schedules and compressed time. And then we have another client who is a roofing contractor that says one of his core values is we do it right the first time, and then we do it that way every time, no shortcuts. Somebody told me once, Victor, the path of least resistance is what makes men and rivers crooked, because water will always go the path that is least resistant, And sometimes we as people from time to time take shortcuts we shouldn't take too. So having that kind of a core value is critical.
That's right. That's right. Because sometimes people think it's going to be faster if you take shortcuts.
Yeah.
Then you're going to get paid quicker, and then you're going to have that money.
Yeah. Yeah. I have another saying, good, fast, cheap. Pick any two. If it's cheap
Right.
and fast, it's not any good. And if it's good and fast, it's not going to be cheap.
So we're big on delivering a premium products to our clients.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm sure we have some new business owners that are currently facing some of the obstacles that you've encountered. Do you have any advice for them?
Yes, I do. And I want to say first that it's a long story, right? And yes, I learned a lot in this journey. I learned a lot. I'm coming from being a 5-man construction crew to right now 100 employees, plus our partners, subcontractors. We have about 9, and they have a lot of people as well. They help us to get the jobs done on time, meeting the due dates. And so every day we have about 200 people by combined in-house with our subcontractors in our job sites. We're spread out in the Southeast. So I have learned a lot, but what I can tell the new business owners is don't give up. Believe in you. The dream is free, but the journey is not.
Yeah.
You have to pay. It's a sacrifice. And be consistent. Be passionate about it. And commitment and discipline. For me, what it works was faith. A lot of prayers. I told you some stories before about my only equipment broke down one day, and I didn't have anything else. And after we were done, and I went to pray, and out of nowhere, it was like that 3 days before the warranty ran out, and we were back in business.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm sure there are some listeners that would like to reach out to you, whether they're potential clients or our other listening audience. But Victor, is there a best way for them to get in touch either with you or with High Tech Utility Construction?
Sure. We have a website. It's hightechutility.com, and it'll take you straight to our website. And I'm also on LinkedIn as Victor Salmeron. Our company has a profile on LinkedIn as well as High Tech Utility Construction.
Victor, hearing your story a second time was just as inspiring as hearing it for the first time. I want to thank you for coming on the show today, and thank you for sharing your story of the hard work, the dedication, and the commitment that you've demonstrated, your core values, your purpose, and your commitment. It's been a great story. Thank you for sharing it.
Yes, no problem. I want to thank you, my team. I have a strong team, great people. High Tech wouldn't be where we are today without that great people that works hard every day at High Tech. I have a great team, and I love all of them. And that's great to know. I always thanks my wife too, because she's always been there with me, paying the price, making some sacrifices. She's a great person that I've been blessed to share my life with.
Yeah, yeah. They say behind every great man is a greater woman.
Yes.
And so let's all agree. I married my high school sweetheart, and we were married this past June for 47 years. So yeah.
Actually, this month is our anniversary for 10 years.
Oh, wow. Happy anniversary.
Thank you.
Mrs. Salmeron, if you're listening, happy anniversary to you as well.
Yes, it will be tomorrow.
Yeah. Victor, that's
Thank you,
great.
Bill.
Thanks so much for coming on the show. I want to take a moment to talk about financial fog. Running a business is no small feat. It's a relentless push to grow, adapt, and stay ahead. But what happens when the numbers don't add up and the path forward feels hazy? For bold, ambitious, and confident business owners, especially boomers or Gen Xers, financial confusion can feel like a betrayal of your own success story. The fog sets in. But how do you know when it's time to call reinforcements? Here's just a couple of telltale signs that your business is stuck in a financial fog. Your cash flow feels like a mystery. You find yourself wondering, where does all the money go? Even when revenue seems strong, the cash in your account barely covers expenses. This roller coaster can leave you feeling frustrated and constantly playing defense. Profitability is falling short. You're working harder than ever, yet the bottom line doesn't reflect your effort. Maybe expenses are eating into profits, or perhaps your pricing strategy needs a closer look. Whatever the cause, low profitability can quietly erode the health of your business. You're spending without strategy. When's the last time you looked at your expenses with a critical eye? If you're making decisions reactively, hiring when stressed, or overspending on tools you don't fully use, you're not alone. Many business owners operate without a clear financial strategy, and it's costing them. If any of these sound like you, it may be time for a strategic growth review, your ultimate weapon for financial clarity and business growth. A strategic growth review can address these issues and more by dissecting your cash flow, identifying profit leaks, pinpointing profit blockers, helping you rethink cost structures, and prioritizing investments to drive growth. Ambitious entrepreneurs don't settle for mediocrity. You deserve a roadmap that aligns your financial goals with your vision for the future. To learn more, check out our website, theprofitabilitycoach.net. Thank you for tuning in to ProfitSense, where bold ideas meet practical strategies to help you win in business. If you're ready to stay ahead of the game, follow the Profitability Coach on LinkedIn and Instagram for more insights and updates. You can catch all past and future episodes at ProfitSenseRadio.com. This is Bill McDermott signing off. Go out there, take action, and make it a great day, because your success starts with the choices you make today.